and welcome back to
Pardon Our Honesty.
Where today we're talking about me and you, us never part, and how we get to that point. We're talking about friends.
Friends.
Your friend circle. Okay? So Megan and I are friends. Did y'all know that?
We are friends.
I don't have a lot of friends.
Yes, you do. She's lying. Okay, you just started off the podcast lying.
I do not have a lot of friends.
Okay, back up. What do you classify as a friend versus an acquaintance? Because you know a lot of people.
I know a lot of people.
So what would you call a friend and what would you call an acquaintance?
Okay, a friend is someone that knows part of your don't tell nobody what I just did secrets. A best friend knows a lot about 85% of your don't tell nobody what I just did.
So you have a best friend level.
Yes.
Then you're my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're my acquaintance.
Mm-hmm.
And an acquaintance is just somebody you might hang out with or go to dinner with, but you don't share.
And then you have the inner circle.
Okay, what is that?
The inner circle is they know all of your don't tell nobody I did this.
They're the ones that help bury the body.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say that? Move the body.
So, funny story. One year I was so excited I wanted to do this April Fool's joke. And so I called my inner circle and I said, girls, I have gotten pregnant by somebody else. It's not Ed's. And they all, Ed is sitting in the car. I have them on speakerphone listening to this conversation. And he was like, I hate all y'all. Because everybody was like, girl, just come to wherever I am. We'll get you hooked up. And nothing ever happened. That's the inner circle.
That's funny.
That is the inner circle. So, yes. Having an inner circle, I think, is important. Having some best friends is important. Having some friends is also important. Mm-hmm. But I think you have to be very careful about how you choose those people and what you share. Some things I don't feel like, I don't care who they are, your best friend or not, you should not share that information with them. But I also think they can't be just yes people. Right. Yes, Megan, it's okay if you go rob a bank. No,
every time your chair does that, it makes me laugh.
Look at you.
Okay, look so immature.
Like, no, Megan, we're not going to rob no damn bank. I'm not going that route with you. No, your ass is wrong and you need to get it together. You got to have that balance in your friendships where I can be honest and open with you.
Yeah.
And if we can't do that, then you can't be, especially in the inner circle.
I think too, you have to be careful. You know, some people in the moment might seem like your best friend. Mm-hmm. And like, I always believe God brings people in for a season. Mm-hmm. So like, be careful what you tell people in regards to if they leave your season, are they going to be the type of person that tells all your business? Or are they the type of person who takes it with them and says, I know her when, but they keep that to themselves. Yeah. So I think knowing that character of somebody before you just like
blab it out, because if you tell all my deep, dark secrets, you are dead to me and I might actually kill you.
Right. And I think too, like you said, your inner circle, I think the important thing about an inner circle is number one, everybody's different.
Yeah.
So like if I like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out about this, you give a perspective, somebody else gives a perspective, somebody else gives, and they're not, like you said, yes people. Like, oh yeah, girl, you're right. You don't want a you're right person. You want a difference of opinions that you know are coming from a good place, not like you think they're an asshole afterwards, that you trust them enough to know it's coming from a good place. I think that the lines that get blurred is that friend and acquaintance. Because some people want to say, you know, why aren't we friends or are we friends? And you value them, but you just don't trust them enough to share certain things. But how do you explain that to somebody? Like,
I think it's gonna be based on like, how often are we even communicating with each other? If I just met you last week and we've spoken on the phone maybe twice, you can't be my best friend because we haven't established that trust. So let's back up. How defining friends, so we kind of went through what that looks like. How do you pick them? And this chair has got to go. Excuse me, y'all.
I'm too immature. See, Tiffany knows as her friend, and I will never be able to focus.
All right, we back now.
Okay. This is real life. This is why this is the friends you have to watch out for when you go to serious events. You have to be careful if you sit by them because somebody's going to embarrass you.
And that's okay, because if you're true friends, you understand in that moment, like, she didn't mean that to hurt me or to harm me or to make me embarrassed or whatever. So I think that mesh is what determines, is this my real friend or this is just somebody I'm hanging out with?
Right. And I would say like we have a circle of people. Mm-hmm. You know, I know you probably have another, like you probably have multiple circles. Yes. And we have a circle of people. And in our circle, I think there's very unique personalities. Mm-hmm. Like one that I know is going to be, I know what to expect. It's going to be a certain way. We just accept that and know that. And there's another one that we know will say anything, do it. Like, you know those people, and either you accept it and you know that's what you're going to get, or you don't. And if you don't accept it, then really they shouldn't be in your circle. You know, like, but to me, a friend, I feel is somebody you depend on for everything. You know what I mean? Like, I would say like Tiffany, my kids are assholes sometimes and need punishment. And so they have to do yard work. And I can call Tiffany and be like, can I bring the kids over and do yard work? And Tiffany's like, yeah, bring them on over. Yeah. We got stuff for them to do. Sure. Like, you support in all areas, you know, work, family, not just us hanging out. Mm-hmm. Like, you kind of, friends, I think, take it all in.
Yeah, I think so too. And they're, like you're saying, they have different perspectives. They're not always yes. They're not always no either. And then they can kind of hear what you're saying, hear you from the heart, and give you that advice that you need to hear that maybe sometimes you don't want to hear. So for me, I call that the inner circle, because I'm a firm believer you cannot share everything with everybody. I was listening to a guy talk on a podcast, and he was saying, you don't share your problems in your relationship except with a professional. Now, I don't subscribe to that, but I can see that, okay, this friend, I could tell, or I could say, Ed was this, this, and this, and he's getting on my nerves, right? If Ed and I make up and we just fall back in love, you're not going to be saying to me, well, I thought you was freaking mad at Ed. What the hell are you doing with him? What's going on with you? But there are some friends in the best friend and friend category I'm never going to share that with, because
the judgment.
They are going to judge, or they're going to hold a grudge. And yes, relationships are crazy, and sometimes you need to vent. And an inner circle friend for me is just going to let me vent and be like, Tiffany, you know you being stupid, right? Okay, get your shit together, and this is what you need to do.
Right.
And then either I go do it, or you fuss at me like, didn't I tell you need to do this or whatever? But certain people, I don't think you can share everything with.
But so your friends,
my friends,
I think the thing that we do though is that when you go to your friends to vent about your relationship, you're venting, right? We don't call our friends every time our significant other or somebody else does something great. We're not like, hey, they did this. You know, that's not what we're doing. Yeah. We're doing to vent because we're angry or we're upset. Because when you're happy, you share that emotion with your partner or your friend or your boss or whoever it's done it to you. But when you're angry, you can't, most of the time you're not going to that person. You're calling your friends. And you're right. If you don't have the right friends, your friends are never going to love that person like you do. And so if your friend holds it over your head, I thought you were leaving them and I thought you were going to do this, then you realize I can't tell that friend anything.
Of course. No.
So you have to have the right friend that you know I can just diarrhea of the mouth on you. And then tomorrow I say, oh, we're great. And you go, that's cool. Great.
Yeah. And you're happy. You're genuinely happy that you guys worked it out, whether I took your advice or not, huh?
Whether I took your advice or not. Yes. And like, I remember in high school, God, 30 years ago, and my mom would always say, Megan, in the scheme of life, you know, these people won't matter, you know, because in high school, there's always, this person doesn't like me or fitting in or whatever. And she was right. I mean, as soon as you graduate high school, most of those people disappear. But through life, what I've learned is quality is better over quantity, hand over fist. Like I would take 5 ride or die friends over being Miss Popular and everybody know who I am when I go. I don't even care about that anymore. And I think that's by age, but I still see people sometimes in our age group that strive to be everywhere with everybody, friends with everybody. And I don't know if that's, they need the fulfillment or if they just like having that. But to me, it's too much to me.
Yeah,
and
I think
it's too much work.
I'm with you. I'm like, I get overwhelmed because I'm just kind of a carefree, bubbly kind of person. I can go into any space and just be Tiffany and people will be like, oh, I like her. She's cool, crazy or whatever. But I do find it that it's overwhelming if I get overwhelmed if, okay, you're there and then our other friends are there and then, oh, these people, hey, I like you too and I love you. I feel like I'm betraying the inner circle. And that's probably
crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure it is crazy, but
it's a pressure you feel.
Yeah, it's a pressure that I feel. Even, some close friends that I do have here outside of our inner circle, that I've been friends with for 10, 15 years, I feel like I'm betraying them because, oh, well, when are you going to spend time with me? And I'm like, shoot, how do you do that? How do you manage?
And sometimes friendships occur out of like our friendship out of work. Yeah. We all work together. Yeah. So you naturally spend more time together and you can sit and talk about work and you can, which builds a different kind of bond. So I always feel like you have friends from work.
Yep.
You have friends from previous work. Mm-hmm. You have friends from a previous life maybe or previous relationship or whatever. And they're all unique and different. I think the thing that makes them a good friend is that they understand, like you don't have to explain anything to them. If I go a week, like sometimes Misty will be like, I'm just checking to see if you're alive. Are you mad? Are you good? But she knows that like, it's not deliberate.
Yes.
But she wants me to know that I know she's thinking of me and it's never a fight. Like, you didn't call me back or it's never, well, you didn't invite me to this. Like, it's never like that. And I think that's what makes, I feel, a core really good true friend is that they're not going to get mad or make this extra stress in your life. When you're an adult and you've got kids and a spouse and work, it's hard to say that I have a friend that if I don't call her by 5, she's going to be mad at me.
But I think then that demonstrates that they're secure in your friendship. Because I can, like you're saying, I can call, my other best friend and we haven't talked in probably 6-8 months. But if I call her, we'll be on the phone for 2 hours. And it's like we just picked up where we left off.
No explanation.
No explanation needed. She understands, hey, I'm just living.
But what do you think about when people say, and I've heard people say this, you're different with that friend than you are with me. Do you really believe that there are, you're two different people, or should you really be the same person with everybody?
With an acquaintance, I can see how that could happen. With a best friend, I'm not sure. Because why would I be different with that person?
So that's what I would think. I would think that no matter, who I'm with, I'm pretty much the same person. Yeah. I'm not going to be the person who goes and talks to the strangers in the room, or I'm funny, or I'm whatever, I'm direct, whatever. I would hope that I am the same person around everybody. But, I've heard people say, oh, if she's coming, I can't do this. Like, if that's really, if you classify yourself as a friend, a good friend, or
so
a friend or best friend.
Person, your friend, you and I are friends. But we're also friends with this third person.
Right. And you say, Megan, burrito is coming. I can't drink that. Or I can't listen to that music, or I can't cut, or whatever, because so-and-so is going to be there.
But you're saying
she's your friend. So I've seen that happen. So why are people sometimes different around different friends?
Okay, but we all three are friends.
Maybe not inner circle. Like, I might know this person, but she's your friend. She's your friend, but me and you are hanging out. I've known her through you. And the three of us go out to dinner and you're like, oh, no, I don't drink in front of her. Or I don't cuss in front of her. Or I don't, why... I've witnessed that.
And that's something wrong with you, because with your friends, you should be able to be your authentic self.
Do people struggle in general being their authentic self?
Shit, yes.
So how do you know? So how do you know somebody's being their authentic self? Like if you are and you're being open and honest and you're just like putting all your stuff out there, how do you know that other person's being authentic?
You don't. And that's how I think experience and time is going to show you if that person is authentic, because the situation you just described, if I change because Burrito comes, then...
That was a good name, wasn't it?
Yeah. If Burrito came and I'm saying, oh, I can't, you know me this way, but in front of her I have to be a different way, then of course you're not being your authentic self. And so I've just revealed that to you. So to me, that's going to throw up a red flag that if you can't be real in front of Burrito, then I know damn well you're not being real in front of me, because you're code switching. That's what they call it.
So what about this? So, okay, so we have like our inner circle, and we have a lot of personalities in our inner circle. And then I've got some friends, I'd say 2 or 3 really good friends outside of that. And one of those friends has said to me, I really don't understand your inner circle, because there might be, let's just say, a personality in there that they just don't see that would be a reflection of me or how I am. So how do you explain that? Because I explain it as, to the core, these are very good people.
Yeah, that
and they have my back and whatever. They might have somebody might have a personality trait or might do something or might whatever that doesn't seem, because we used to, when you're telling your kids you're guilty by association, or people are going to judge you by who you hang out with. I believe it's true for adults too. And so you do have to be conscious of that. But if you know that person is good to the core, I think sometimes friends from the outside are like, what the hell?
Well, I think the person on the outside is just judging based on what they know.
Right.
And so maybe they haven't had that deep experience that you have had to know that, okay, this person is genuinely a good person. Yeah, they crazy as hell. And she probably talking about me, but that's okay.
No. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, if they didn't like somebody in your circle.
She's crazy, cool, but, she can come off a little brash to other people, and that's okay, but I love her heart. They would have to have that experience and time getting to know me. You're not going to be able to explain that to them. I mean, you could, but until they saw it, they're going to probably be like, she a little wild. She a little crazy. I don't know about her.
Until they get to that next level.
Until they get to
and
that
they may
next
never,
level,
because they are 3 people removed,
Yeah.
But that's what I think, too, about when they say people come in for a season. Because, I mean, through my adult life, I've had some really good, that I thought were best friends, good friends. And then circumstances change, either my divorce or different partners or Madison sports and then out of her sports. And, I spent life at ball fields. And then when that life at the ball field ends, those friends kind of end, because that was your only common ground. And I don't know if I would say it's like I've heard somebody reference like I've had a lot of friends, switch friends throughout the years or whatever. And like Misty and Connie have always been like a core or whatever. But it's like, I can't believe that nobody else has experienced that you have friends through seasons. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I live next to you, we're obviously probably going to have a good relationship. If I move and then you move and we don't see each other anymore, that friendship is probably going to change, So like, I don't think every friend is meant to stay forever.
I don't think they're meant to stay forever, but if they had a significant impact on your life during a specific season, I do feel like you will carry on some type of connection. You might not have the same level of connection of when you were in that season, but there are friends that I have that I had during, like you say, some crazy seasons. I just needed to be wild and crazy, and they were there and was like, you go, girl. And now that I'm getting older and kind of being normal and settling down, I think my friends change based on my aspirations and my dreams, because I don't want somebody who was my friend 15 years ago who's not grown, and 15 years ago, I was hanging out, partying, drinking to the crack of dawn and living my best life. I ain't got time to do that right now.
Right. So if they're still there.
If they're still there, then we can't grow. But I do feel like, if they've grown as well, then we still have some type of connection. We might not be as close because they were just there for that season, but, you change. You change over time. Your friends should change. And if they're not supporting you and where your future self wants to be, then...
And they don't have to understand it.
No.
That's the thing I feel like too.
No.
If you go through something in your life, divorce, job change, you want to adopt a kid, whatever it might be, I feel like when friends put their own opinions on it, that's where it gets frustrating, because really you're just supposed to be supporting me. And you could tell me you don't agree with it, but it shouldn't be like almost like an ultimatum,
No, it should not be an ultimatum.
And I think too with friendships, I think the thing that I've never understood, which in my adult life I haven't really, experienced it, but if we have younger people listening, is the vindictiveness if you stop being friends. Like nowadays, people are like, oh, I'm going to show them your text messages, or I'm going to do that. Like, what is, like, as grown folks, even teenagers, like, what is the point? Is it just out of hurt?
Hurt people hurt people. Yeah. You always hear that, but what does that really mean? That means if I'm hurt, what I've been taught is to feel better, I need to get revenge. And so I think that's what's speaking when people do stuff like that. I've just always been a very loyal person. I value loyalty to the core. And if you cross me, you are basically dead to me. But I'm not going to tell your secrets. Right. Because I feel like...
What's the point of that?
I wouldn't want you to do that to me. I would be mortified. I'd be ready to hurt somebody. So I'm not going to do that. But I do have a question along those lines. So, one, how do you pick friends? And then, is it okay for friends to... I guess talk amongst each other about each other? Or is that betrayal? Like you kind of just explained that, oh, she's telling all my stuff. But if we are in this inner circle and I notice Burrito over here is being weird, and I say, Megan, why Burrito being weird? Is that bad? Or if I say, girl, did you know Burrito was doing this?
Okay,
but first question,
how do you pick friends? I would say my friends are based on common principles, morals. When I was younger, it'd probably be just who I got along with. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you fun? I'm fun. Let's go do fun stuff. Now I feel like it's the people who balance me, people who respect me, who have the same moral compass. They're not going to steal from anybody. They want goals. They have aspirations. They're free thinkers in the fact of like, I'm not going to judge you for having a difference of opinion, because I know just in our inner circle, there's some major topics we don't agree on. And that I appreciate that, because I'm going to grow from that. I'm going to learn. That's how I pick my friends. My friends, I feel like have to have trust. Like I've got to feel trust. I've got to like being, if I don't like you, it's going to be even though you might be all those check boxes, but we just don't gel, we're probably not going to be friends. Okay. And if I feel that there's any kind of like, if you have a malicious side to you, and I've seen you do it to somebody else, I'm not going to.
You're going to do it to me?
Yeah. Now, about talking amongst the inner circle, I feel like if you have a girlfriend or a group of friends or whatever, I feel like that's the safest place to go first. So if there's 7 of you or 4 of you or 2, whatever, and Burrito over here is, I love her name. She's being weird. I might go to you and say, is everything, before I go to her, I'm going to say, everything okay? Is there anything? Well, you might want to talk to her, or she's got some stuff going on with her. Oh, okay. Well, let me go ask her then. Because I personally, it's not saying, if we were saying, man, she's being an asshole and, like, that's wrong. Yeah. Because if we're degrading or malicious. But if you're like, hey, is everything okay? Is there something going on? I feel like it's kind of like you're testing the water, because what if I'm not... There's always closer people. So what if the closest person in the inner circle is like, just give her a day or two? Okay, I'll give her a day or two. But if I just go in, she's like, what the hell? Why are you all, like, I don't know. What do you think? How do you make your friends, and what do you think about that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with the inner circle, like how you just described it. We're checking in with the other one to make sure Burrito is okay before I go to Burrito and be like, girl, what the hell wrong with you? You've been acting weird. You've been quiet. Everything okay? Because I think all of us has a sense of where each other is in, if you're close, if we really friends, you have a sense of, okay, I know she dealing with this. I know he dealing with that. I know the kids are doing this. And so you become kind of like that support system. And then it's not weird. You're not being malicious. You're not gossiping. You're not telling the other one something they wouldn't say.
Right.
They wouldn't tell the whole group if we were in a setting where that was, safe and we were able to do it. So.
And how do you choose your friends?
How do I choose my friends? Ooh. I guess on the surface, like you said, if we jive together, we have common things we enjoy. You got to be a fun kind of person, want to try new things, not be closed-minded. Most of my friends came from, like, we had similar lives at the time. Like my high school best friends, we all had crazy home lives, or we had babies as teenagers. We were all interested in, okay, I'm gonna get my ass out of this place I live and go to college and make a better life for myself. So that's how I got those friends. And then, like you said, as we moved military duty stations and all that, it was just, hey, you got kids? I got a whole bunch of kids too. We jive together. All right, let's hang out. But I've always wanted my house to be the happy house. And I think for some of us, you pick your friends based on what you wished you had. So a lot of my friends are similar to things or people I wished I had have had in my life as a young person to help give me that hard, honest truth. Girl, you being fast. You need to go somewhere and sit down. Or to be that person I could go to say, you know what, today life really fucking sucks. I need a shoulder to cry on. So I didn't have that as a young person. So I think that's what I look for now. Loyalty, there are a lot of people that we're not friends anymore because when you gossip about me and I find out about it, because I expect that my true friends are going to tell me, girl, you know, Burrito over there talking about you. And she told everybody you was doing this, and this. Then me and Burrito going to have a Jesus meeting.
And not even that, but if you don't stand up for me.
That too.
You don't want to tell me that she's saying it, that's fine. But if I find out it happened and you didn't stand up for me, then that's where that loyalty. And it's kind of like your partner, your spouse, your boyfriend, whatever. They might be dead ass wrong, but you defend them until you get home, and then you say you dead ass wrong. And I feel like that's the kind of the same thing with a friend too. Like you could say later, that was dead ass wrong. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have said it. You were wrong. But because I'm your friend, I'm not going to let you take that, by yourself.
So how do you deal with friends that you guys are really close? This is my ace, and then y'all just lost it.
I mean, I feel like the ones that I've lost that I thought at the time was really close, I lost them I lost a season of my life too. So like if I was going through my divorce, I lost people naturally from that because it was a season of my life changing. Where I was living was changing. Who I was with was changing, which some of those friends came along with that, when Madison quit playing softball, I was there so it was like a natural thing. The friends that I feel like the Misties, the Connies, my friend Emily from college, like those are my, they've literally gone through everything. Now I will say there's one friend that I had, I won't say her name, but we were like a three, me, Connie and her. And that one was very hard to understand because we had been friends so long, and we've been through divorces and babies and deployments at the time. I'd been through 9, she'd been through a lot, but we always held tight, and then just randomly she just disappeared. And it was like, we tried, Connie and I tried, and it was just that was hurtful and painful because you didn't really know why, you couldn't understand it. But then I realized, I told myself, and, me and Connie had talked about it a couple of times, maybe we were her long season. And as she moved and she met new people and she got all this stuff changed, she got a new season of people, and we were older than her by, 7-8 years, I think. So maybe we were her older during that time period. Right. Yeah. But otherwise I feel like if they change, it's due to my season. Otherwise, like the Misties, the Connies, I feel like you would always be around. I just feel like there's certain people that wouldn't change based on those circumstances.
Yeah. So I think for me, it's hard to kind of see like, dang, I was there for you for everything, and now you don't even check in on me, you don't call me. Like,
But
to
how does
me,
that
it's
make you
almost
feel?
it feel like it's a death. It feels like I just experienced a death. Like,
but do you see it happening over time, or like, is it like?
Well, the one vivid one, the one I remember the most, we moved away. Okay, but for us in the military, it was kind of like, yeah, you move away, but we developed this bond that was so close that we keep in touch. If I call you right now, I know young lady live in Louisiana. We was tight. They was at our house every weekend, and we was at their house. If I call, I haven't talked to her in probably like 4 months. If I called her today and say, girl, she'd be like, what you want, girlfriend? And it would be nothing, but some of them I'm just like, crickets. Like, I called and I get crickets, and I'm like, okay, what did I do to you?
Right. You think it's you, but it might not be you.
What did I do?
And,
and looking at the situation and some of the things that the person I'm thinking about has gone through, they went through some serious seasons, and so maybe during that season I could help them.
Right.
But during these seasons, no,
you're not
baby,
with it. Yeah.
I couldn't help you. I can't help you. I don't
and I think you're right. We blame ourselves. Like, what do we do? Do we say something? We do something. But a lot of times I feel like it's probably not you. Mm-hmm. Just like you're saying, they might have gone through a different season, or they might have had something, and you just don't fit into that puzzle piece anymore.
Maybe. But it's fascinating to see them change and grow, and see their family change and grow, because I feel like I missed out on all that when I was like seriously right there.
Right.
But I made it okay, but I always wonder, what did I do to you to make it like this?
And I think that's kind of goes back to like what we talked about like last week with perception versus reality. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe their perception was we weren't there. Or maybe that perception was it was too hard because we weren't living next door. Or, you know, like people put in their brains, and if we don't communicate it, like, hey, Tiffany, you said something the other day, I think that was really shitty and it bothered me. Instead, our perception is you meant what you said. And so we just push ourselves away from you. And that's not the reality. And so maybe some of those friendships happen from that too. Yeah.
Or maybe they like,
because like our one friend, I've never directly asked like what the fuck happened. It just, you know, quit answering texts and quit answering Snapchats and quit. You know, then what do you say? Do you really go and say, why are you not my friend anymore? Like, I'm 40 years old. I
probably wouldn't at this point in my life. But then I also think about, well, what if she went through something that she would be embarrassed for you to know?
Right.
Well, it would be easier for her to just be like, ooh, I ain't going to hide this. I'm just.
But then did they also find you as deep of a friendship then, though? Because I mean, people know a lot of my embarrassing shit.
You would know that I don't give a shit that you screwed up your life, or you need some help. I would be like, okay, what can I do?
Right.
Do I need to come over there? Or,
what do you need? Yeah.
How can I support you? But to me, that it's weird. That's part of friendship I'll never understand.
Yeah.
That if we was sandwich meat together and then nothing happened, we didn't have a fight, there's nothing ugly said, and we just
That's why I just have to tell myself that people come in for a reason and people leave for a reason. Okay. And sometimes it's for your own benefit. You don't even know it. And sometimes it's for their benefit. Or maybe you only have those people to get you to a certain level or to get you to the next phase. And then you've outgrown them or they've outgrown you. And, you know, I feel like sometimes we get so attached in relationships and like, how can that change? But I don't know. You know, I'm one of those people who always say, how does somebody marry to somebody their whole life? But I think because if you don't grow together, you change, right? Yeah. And so your friendships, if you're not growing together, it could be the same thing. If we don't grow together, we're not going to go anywhere.
Because I think if I had never met you, my idea of being a business owner, you know, running a successful company and all that, I don't think I ever would have thought about that or even tried to aspire to be that. But when
now you're the bomb doc.
No, I'm not. Stop that. But because I met you and I took your, you know, advice, mentoring, coaching, and became your friend, it's like, oh, I can have that.
But that's true though, right? You put yourself around what they say, you should never be the smartest person in the room.
No.
You should always go somewhere where you can learn from somebody that makes you a little uncomfortable. And, I hate being in those rooms because I'm always uncomfortable if I don't know people, but I can see the benefit of always making sure that you're kind of getting those different perspectives. And I think for you too, with us, like our friendship grew because of work. But what I loved most about our friendship is that we were like, I feel very transparent and very like, for me especially, I could say, I don't get this or I don't get that, or why aren't you doing this? Or like, and you can tell me like you do plenty of times, like Megan, that's stupid. Just like, don't worry about that or let that go. And I'll get irritated, but then I know that you're speaking, like I know you, I know your life experiences. I know you as a parent. So I know you're speaking from a place of like true friendship. Yeah. Like it's not like whatever, even if I get annoyed, I'm like, whatever, it's Tiffany. She loves me. Like, you know? Yes, and you don't have that with everybody.
No, you don't.
So it's different. Some people could get very, and people work, say I'm very direct and they think I'm mad or because I'm direct. But if you know me, you know it's coming from a good place. If you don't, you think I'm an asshole. Yeah. I mean, really. So and I think with your friends, they've got to know that because we all have friends of different. I have friends that are very crafty and very like artsy, and I don't get any of that. Like I don't get it, but I'll support you, but I don't get it. And I have friends that are very drunk and like to drink and do whatever and go out and like that's not my realm either, but doesn't mean I have to participate. You know what I mean? But you're still my friend.
Yes.
And I think
we
understanding
can do other
that
things together that we all have
enjoy
in common or we all can enjoy. Okay, well, so what's one piece of advice you would give to someone who's considering or thinking about, I need to add friends to my life or I need to remove this friend from my life? What advice would you give them?
I would say now my friend list is full.
That's if you need to get rid of them.
I would say if you have to get rid of a friend, there's a reason why you're thinking that, and you just need to put the space between. It doesn't have to be dramatic. I feel like sometimes people want to over-explain and they want to like, maybe you just need to put space and let it naturally take its course so you don't have to deal with the drama. But if there's somebody not healthy or not good, just let it go. Yeah. But if you need to make friends and you're having a hard time making friends, I feel like maybe you have to change what you've been doing. Like if you go to work every day and come home and you're like, I have no friends. Well, why don't you volunteer somewhere? Yeah. That already means they have a common interest as you. Or if you love animals, go and do animal stuff and you'll meet people with common interests. Yeah. And that way you build from a common, foundation of something. But getting rid of friends, I think it's hard because people are like, I don't want them to be mad at me. Or if I'm not friends with her, then so-and-so will be friends with me. At some point, I hate to say it, but fuck it, who cares? What is what's going to make you feel good and you function and you be the best version of you? And if that person's not it, then they just, and if other people follow, then other people follow and this just wasn't meant to be.
And it's okay. Okay, well, how do they make friends?
Get out there and make friends.
Okay, you did answer that, my bad.
So, I mean, I would treat it like dating. Like people do all these things to find a freaking boyfriend, and then they're like, "I have no friend." Well, what are you doing? Like, did you go? Have you gone to a community event? Do you show up? Do you go to the gym and talk to people while you're there? Do you go to dog events if you love dogs? Are you approachable? Do you have a resting bitch face? Are you rude to people? Like, I mean, I feel like people put a lot of energy into dating. Put that same energy into making a friend if you have no friend.
Y'all got a lot of darn apps that I have no understanding about to find boo things.
Maybe that's our next thing, a friend app.
So, okay, do you feel like friends online are actually friends? Online friends. Do you believe, and this is a question for our audience, do you believe if I met you only online and we chat and we tell each other everything, blah, 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 is that truly a friend?
Wow.
Because the social media world, especially for everybody born after Generation X, that's kind of how they...
That's a really good question, especially for younger kids, too, who on Xbox and make these random friends. They don't know who they are, and they're, like, best friends with them. I would say, could they be a friend? I don't know. If you're sick or they come in the hospital... If something happened to your mama, your daddy, your brother, are they going to come and take care of you? Are they going to show up if you needed something? Or is it convenient because you could text back and forth in Snapchat or Xbox? But if something really went down, are they going to be in your house standing next to you?
And do they need to be?
I mean, if I called a friend and said, I need you right now, my Nick, something happened to Nick or something happened to Madison. I need you right now. And they were like, sorry, I can only be here online. We're only online friends. That to me would be like, okay, that's not the friend that I need somebody here. Like for me. Now, if you just need somebody to talk to and you're lonely, to me, I guess an online friend could be your friend. I don't know. I don't have any friends like that. I have nobody online that I'm friends with that I'm not friends with in real life.
Neither am I, but I think
and
life is
how do you know that
way.
those people are really who they are? I mean, do you watch Catfish? I mean, this is freaking 2022. People are still getting catfished. So how do you know that like Sarah or Burrito on the other line that you've been your best of friends isn't a 90-year-old man smoking a cigar in the basement? You thought it was a 23-year-old girl that you have the best connection with.
But will it matter?
You lied to me. So you my friend and you lying to me?
But we had a great connection. You talked me through, my friends, something major event in my life. And so, why can't that be a friend? I'm the devil's advocate, y'all.
I mean, I think if you don't have any real life friends, I would be very, very cautious if your only friends were online friends. But if you had an online friend that you may or may not know who they really are, but you had real life friends too, okay. But if you only have an online friend, that would make me a little, I don't know. Because I feel most people, I shouldn't say all, need physical interaction, conversation. People, and they get lonely. And we saw that during COVID. People are so lonely and desperate to be around people and be back, socially.
Be able to have that physical contact with each other.
So I feel like I don't know. No. Do you consider an online friend your friend?
I don't have any people that I would consider my friend simply online, because that's not my personality anyway. I want to look at your eyes and chit chat with you and give you a big hug. And if something happened, like you're saying, I'm be the first thing smoking back to wherever you are. Because like my best friend, she started chemo and I was in Korea. And I flew my happy self right on back from Korea so I could be here for her first chemo appointment. So like you're saying, I would be like, wow, you're my best friend, but you can't come see about me. I would feel very indifferent and weird if, that's my best friend, but we can't never
But you're right though. The way the generation is going, they're like, "Oh, this is my friend." I'm like, "Have you ever met them in real life?" No. Do you even know who they are? No. They were on so and so's page, and I liked them and followed them, and da 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 da. I'm like, "Oh my god, that's not even like. How do you even know it's a real person?" And now with like Chat GPT and all this AI intelligence, how do you even know it's not a machine at that point? Like, I think if your sole friendship is an online person, I would say you need to build relationships in person too. That is the only thing I would say. I can't say they're not friends because I'm sure people are going to tell me they have a best friend on the Wordle or something. Great. But would you trust them to send them something totally private and hope they never share it with anybody?
No, I could not.
I mean, I don't know. It would make me a little nervous.
Yeah. So I've always heard that you are the average of the 5 people you hang around. Mm-hmm.
I agree with that 100%.
So if you want to be different, to be better, to change, to grow, to aspire to be anything else besides what you are right now, and you don't have those people that will help you get there, your friendship circle at some point in your life is going to have to change.
I agree. That sentiment is so true. If you look at the 5 people you hang around, are they successful? Are they doing what you want? Are they completing things that you want? Are they motivating you? Like they might not, maybe you want to be rich, but they're not rich, but they travel or they do art or something that you wish you could do. So like, are you hanging around those people? Like, I feel like that's so true from no matter what age you are. Yeah. If you're 13 and you look at the 5 people around you and they've been suspended, they do drugs, they get kicked out of school, that's going to be you. Yeah, people associate with you like that way. They're going to judge you that way, and it's going to be you. But if you look around, those 5 people around you are successful, caring, like law-abiding people, then you're probably, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. All right, guys. Friends. How many of us have them? I got this one. I got a few others that I absolutely love.
Yes.
And we want you to be our friend online and give us 5 stars. Please like and share this podcast with anybody you think could benefit from our honest and open communication and conversations about all things from the top to the bottom. All right? And until next time, bye, guys.
Bye.